Now, obviously, there are a lot of symbols in religious traditions. For example, in the Christian tradition, which I am most familiar with, you might see symbols like a cross or a dove or something along those lines. And they can be very meaningful to people in religious services or at just different points in their life. Now, the question that I have is, can symbols have any value for someone outside of a religious experience? Would like a logically thinking, scientifically oriented person have a value for symbols in their life? Let's talk about that. Hello, I'm Rick Sundstrom, and I'd like to welcome you to Journey Beyond Belief. Today, we're going to talk about the power of symbols. Now, again, we mentioned the fact that there are many symbols in religious traditions, but can symbols be valuable outside of a religious experience? Well, let me tell you a story about that. Maybe first of all, there was a teaching that I listened to by Gary Ezzo. Now, if you look up his teaching, I wouldn't recommend the majority of his teaching for consumption by people. It's not real good, but he did tell a story about a time that his daughter was saved from being hit by a car. She was getting out of a car, and I think it was a strap on. She had a little pink jumper on. She was a very young, like 3 or 4 or something, and it caught on the door as she was getting out, and it kind of pulled her back into the car, and there was a car speeding by and just missed. It was something along those lines. I maybe didn't get the story exactly right, but the gist of it was that the strap caught on something and saved her from being killed. And they viewed that as a miraculous intervention, and they celebrated that, and they took that symbol, and they took a piece of the strap, and they put it in a shadow box along with other items of import that were related to important events in their family's life, and they used that to remember things that had happened, things that God had done in their family's life. I tell you that because my family had used symbols like that. My wife thought that was pretty cool, and I thought that was a pretty cool usage. And we did some things. We would take things, important things in our life, and put them into a shadow box. We had a little souvenir painted wooden egg, I think, from a place where we went on our honeymoon. We had sand from a beach on a vacation that we could remember. We had a time when our daughter was like stuck under one of a power garage door. She had accidentally gotten trapped under one of those, and she was saved from injury. And we took a piece, like the Ezos did. We took a piece of her the overalls that she was wearing. We put it in the shadow box. And that's well and good. It was nice to remember a lot of those things. But personally, for me, there's one thing that I can think of in my life that is a very, very powerful symbol, at least for me. And if you're watched any of the Journey Beyond Belief videos, you'd be familiar with the fact that I was a pastor of a conservative evangelical Christian church for 17 years. And I came to a point where I had begun to question my faith, and my faith had really my beliefs had radically changed. And I was thinking, can I do this anymore? The church was already struggling. I had 2 jobs. I didn't know if I could continue on. I basically had a full-blown midlife crisis, was in a deep, dark depression. And at that time, I found an online program from Oregon State University. It was a post-baccalaureate program, which basically meant if you already had a college degree, they would substitute that for your generals. And all you had to do was take the 60 credits of computer science, and they'd give you a degree, and it was really nice. In fact, it was the only program that I'd seen online that you could finish in a year if you were insane and took a lot of classes. every quarter. And I went through that program and ended up getting a computer science degree and was hired as a software engineer, and it changed my life. Now you said, well, what does that have to do with the symbol? Well, for me, let me show you here. This became a symbol, the whole Oregon state thing. When I look at this, I don't see a goofy little orange and black beaver. I see hope. And when I look at the things that I have a bunch of hooded sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff, and I see that, it just reminds me that even if things look bad, there's hope. And you just have to keep going, and there's a way out. There's a way to make things better. And to me, that's a symbol. And it's similar. It's obviously not a symbol from a religious tradition, but it's a symbol, and it's a powerful symbol that always keeps me thinking positively, and just it gives me confidence, and it helps me to go forward in life through all kinds of situations. So yeah, I do think that symbols have value and power for people in non-religious situations. So anyway, what I would like to know is, what do you think about this? Is there any type of a symbol that you've adopted in your life that helps you through difficult times, that helps you to remember to have hope, or helps you to persevere through things? I'd like to hear about it. Maybe mention it down in the comments, or if you'd like, we have a Facebook group at Journey Beyond Belief. It's a private group. The link is down in the description. Once again, if you click on that link and request permission, I'll let you into the group, and maybe you can post on there and tell me about the symbols that are important to you. I'd love to hear about it. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. And if you would, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button or subscribe, so you can hear some of the other thoughts and ideas that I have to bring to you. But otherwise, we'll see you again next time on Journey Beyond Belief.